Hey everybody, welcome back to the RGR Football Channel here on YouTube. My name's Daniel Harms. This morning we're going to talk a little bit about some of the OTAs that are going on. As we all know, they're now in phase three, and a lot of people have noticed in the pictures that we're seeing, because we don't get much of actual footage from these OTAs, is that Antonio Callaway and some of the other guys like Noah Gray are getting more run with some of the first team. Now, I think that we can kind of look into this a little bit. When it comes down to it, OTAs are really for installs and learning and teaching. When you bring new people into the offense, into any situation, they need those reps more than the guys like Byron Pringle, Demarcus Robinson, McCole Hardman, all the younger guys. There's kind of a reason that Travis Kelsey and Clyde Edwards-Helaire really haven't been involved. I believe both of them have taken a lot of the OTAs off. I know Clyde has not been there, and I think that maybe Kelsey has shut up a little bit, but he's not really taking part in a lot of the drills. At this point in his career, he's looking just to get on the field, not be injured. So I think that's why we're kind of seeing Noah Gray get more run, because he's really the most dynamic pass catching option they have at tight end outside of possibly Jody Fortson, who's also getting some run in these OTAs as well. So I wouldn't read too much into what's going on there. I would still anticipate Blake Bell to essentially be the tight end to this season going, going forward, unless something were to happen and Noah Gray takes a really good step forward. So that's all I'm going to say on that. The Antonio Callaway thing, hopefully he can keep his head right. If he makes this roster, likely pushes someone like Marcus Kemp, who's a really good special teams guy, off. And we all know that Dave Toub really loves his special teams guy. So I think it's going to be difficult for him to make this roster. Powell will make it. We know that Demarcus Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Byron Pringle, McCole Hardman are all there. So I think that it's going to be kind of difficult for him to make the roster myself. But any guy who's got talent and that can push some of these other guys is really a good thing to have. So seeing him get these reps and knowing that he's trying to pick up the playbook as fast as he can is really good to see. So excuse me. I did end up watching the Little Kingdom short that they had, and I really recommend going to watch that. I know a lot of us do end up watching it anyway. On the draft, it was just a little 11-minute video. I was really hoping that this one they would include a little bit more about Cornell Powell. Obviously, probably my favorite draft pick in this class, terms of value, where they got him, and just what he brings to this offense. Because I really do believe that he looks like Sammy Watkins when he's running out there. He's running his routes. Obviously, the 14 is really reminiscent. It brings it all back, the way that he attacks the football with his hands. Just everything really makes me excited to see him in this offense. I want to see how he can get involved early. I know he wants to make an impact, so I wanted to hear him a little bit after he got to the team, seeing a little bit more of that. But I'm sure they'll release some of that as they go along. But one thing that I really took away is I noticed that Will Shields, before he made the pick for the Chiefs in the second round, was watching Orlando Brown's film, because they had just acquired him. Essentially, he was their first round pick. And one thing that I really noticed while watching that tape, also while he was talking, is something that I didn't really notice beforehand. And Orlando Brown Jr. is, I know a lot of people have said already, and he comes in, he knows what he wants to say. He's very articulate, and he really understands what he's here to do. And the one thing that he said in that video, obviously at the end, I think we've seen it in snippets around, is that he doesn't want anyone to touch Patrick Mahomes. Now, he's coming in to be the left tackle. He was a right tackle the majority of his time in Baltimore. Obviously, he played a lot of snaps last year at left tackle, but he wants to prove himself as a left tackle. Now, this is where he's going to be able to do that. You're playing with the best quarterback, and really the best quarterback head coach duo in the NFL, and you're going to be able to show everyone that you can really be a left tackle in the league, not only just on a mediocre level, but possibly even a Pro Bowl level, protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side. That's going to be a huge process, not only for his career arc, but for Patrick Mahomes' career arc, as well as Clyde Edwards-Helaire's career arc. Excuse me. I truly believe that this offensive line is going to vault the entire offense forward. I think it's going to make him better. I think it's going to make Orlando Brown Jr. better. I think it's going to make Patrick Mahomes better. And it's going to make Clyde Edwards-Helaire better. And by that definition, everyone else is going to get better. It's one of the very intriguing things. Obviously, we got to see this whole offseason with how they went about that. And when he's essentially your first round pick, I think that you can really kind of take into consideration what they think of him. Now, when I watched his film, there's clearly some things he needs to work on, but again, he's still very young. He's got a lot of time to really get some of this under his grasp and become a better player for the Chiefs, which ideally they would probably want him to stay in Kansas City for a long time, and they're probably going to work to make that happen. I expect him to get extended at some point this season. At the end of the season, doesn't really matter. I think he's going to be a Chief for the next five years at least. So I really liked to see him come in and show the articulateness, everything that he really said in his interviews. He's been a very well-spoken guy, and I really respect that, especially with someone who's not coming in just being like, yeah, guess what, I'm the best thing there is. He just wants to prove, get to work, and show everybody what he's about. So I like that. I'm really hoping to see him take a step forward in this offense, because I think he could be even better than he was in Baltimore. I think he was pretty good there, and he's got a lot to prove in terms of being one of the best left tackles in the NFL. So with that said, I'm going to close this by talking a little bit about Nick Bolton, because Ryan and I have our speculations about him, but he was the focus essentially of their little kingdom short. And I truly believe that if we take away the 2020 Nick Bolton film at Missouri, I think things changed for him there. Obviously, you're learning a new defensive system. You're trying to get accustomed to that all in a COVID year. It's very difficult to do. So coming into Kansas City now, I believe that he has the opportunity to learn from Anthony Hitchens, who we all know is the coordinator of that defense. He sets everyone up, lines everybody up. And he's going to be able to take over next year as the starting Mike linebacker and really set the tone for this defense. It's one thing that they really need to do. They haven't had, they have two guys that really kind of lay lumber in terms of going downhill and making hits, in Anthony Hitchens and Dan Sorensen. There's some guys will do it every now and then, but from a second level perspective, those are the two that really stand out, and both of them are getting a little bit older. You want to see some young guys come in, be able to set a tone. Willie Gay and Nick Bolton are going to be able to set tones. They are going to get downhill, and they're going to get in people's faces, and they're going to lay people out. So I'm hoping that really energizes the whole defense in and of itself and can help everybody, especially in the red zone. Because if you can get downhill and get not only into your gaps to stop the run a little bit, you can also get downhill when you're blitzing, because I expect Spags to blitz Willie Gay as well as Bolton a little bit more this season in terms of linebacker pressures. So I'm hoping to see that go forward. I really believe that he can be a centerpiece of this defense. Just got to work around some of the athletic attributes that don't work for him. And I believe that you can still get better at some of those things too. It's all about being in the right position. It's a lot like playing tackle in the sense that you don't have to be the most athletic player to be successful. Mitch Schwartz is a great example. We all know the angles are all you have to worry about and really understand. If you can read a quarterback, you can get yourself in throwing lanes, you're going to be successful in the pass game. And I do believe he's going to be a good run defender. Really has to learn to take on blocks and shed them a little bit better as well. So I think he's going to be able to develop. He's in a great place to develop. Matt House is a great linebacker coach, and I do believe he's in good hands. So I think that this draft worked out really well for them. I think this offensive line is going to be a lot of fun. And with that, I want you guys to go ahead and in the comment section, tell me what your favorite thing about these new guys are, whether it's, interior offensive linemen like Kyle Long and Joe Thuney, or anybody that they drafted, any free agent that they brought in. I want you guys to just talk a little bit about what you think of them, what you think the Chiefs did in free agency and the draft, and overall how you're feeling right now in the process. I appreciate you guys waking up with RGR, and have a great day.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more, and subscribe to RGR Football.